Hi everyone, and welcome back to Queen G's Recipes. And today I'm going to be showing you how to make my chocolate chip pecan cookies. Now I'm going to be starting a series with you guys, so I'm going to be doing 5 consecutive cookie recipes. I'm going to be sharing with you my top 5 favorite recipes, and then you can stay tuned for my following videos because they will be one after another. So let's go over the ingredients we'll be needing. What I have here is 2 1/4 cups of flour, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. In here I also have 1 teaspoon of baking soda. I also have 1/2 cup of white granulated sugar, 2 whole eggs. Here we have 1 1/2 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips. You can use any chocolate chips of your choice. Here I have 1 cup of packed brown sugar. I also have 1/3 cup of toasted pecans, which I toasted myself. You can toast them in the oven for about 10 minutes at 350 or even on the frying pan on medium-low heat for about 5 to 7 minutes. Here I have 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. I have 2 tablespoons of shortening. I am using like a Crisco large shortening here, so 2 tablespoons of that. And we also have 3/4 cups of salted butter at room temperature. Now, because we are only adding 1/4 teaspoon of salt, the salted butter won't make a big difference, so I like to use the salted butter in this recipe and actually in most of my recipes. But if you have unsalted, you can go ahead and use that and add another little pinch of salt, or just leave the salt amount that I have suggested to you. It is totally up to you. So we're going to be using an ice cream scoop here, but you can use 2 tablespoons. That's totally fine too, or you can use any size ice cream scoop of your choice. Just remember, obviously, the larger the ice cream scoop, the larger the cookies, because they do expand generously in the oven. So you also want to make sure that you have your oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And now we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so I'm going to be making my cookies in my standing mixer, but definitely you can use an electrical hand mixer, or you can just use a spatula and a bowl and it'll work out just fine. So use what you have at home, whatever you want to use, that is totally okay. And now what I have already added into my bowl is my sugars, both sugars, brown and white. And now we're going to add in our shortening. So as I said, I'm using the Crisco shortening, and we're going to give this a good mix until it is nicely creamed together. Okay, so it is very important that you have your butter softened at room temperature. Make sure that is done. And now I'm just going to scrape down the sides of my bowl with my spatula, making sure that we get everything off the sides and everything gets mixed together perfectly. So now that that's done, we are going to add in our eggs. Okay, we're going to give that another little mix for another 20 seconds or so, just until combined. Okay, and now we'll add in our vanilla. Give that another little mix. Okay, now we're going to lower our mixer here, and we are going to add in our flour mixture, which is our flour, salt, and baking soda. And there's no need to overmix, just mix until you no longer see any flour in your batter. Now make sure you start on low speed, or else you'll get flour all over you and all over your kitchen, and nobody wants that. Now that that's well mixed together, we're going to add in our chocolate chips, but we're not going to overmix when adding in our chocolate chips. We're just going to add them in and mix for about 10 to 15 seconds, just until they are all throughout the batter. Okay, now that that's done, what I'm going to do with my pecans is I'm not going to mix them in with the machine. I'm just going to mix them in with a spatula, because I find if you mix them in with the machine, they'll crumble into very small crumbles and pieces, and I don't like that in my cookie batter. I want to be able to see the pecans throughout my cookies and taste that wonderful texture that they have. So what I'll do is I'll take my pecans and just mix them in with my spatula until everything is nicely mixed together. You also want to make sure that you have a prepared baking cookie sheet ready so you can place your cookies. You can scoop them on top. So I already have mine lined with some parchment paper, but if you don't have any parchment paper, you can always just spray them with a little bit of non-stick spray. That'll work perfectly fine as well. So now we are ready to prepare our baking sheets. Okay, now remember, if you want to make this dough ahead of time, you can definitely make it the night before. Leave it nicely wrapped in your fridge with some plastic wrap, and it'll be perfectly fine to use the next day or 2 days later. But if you also want to freeze this dough up to about a month or so, that's how long I've left mine in my freezer. That is perfectly fine, and then you can take it out, defrost it, and use it. That is totally great as well. So it's up to you what you want to do with it, but right now, I'm going to be making them because I want to show you guys. So make sure when you place your cookies on your baking sheet, you are leaving about 1 inch between each cookie, because they definitely will expand. And because mine are bigger, I am leaving a couple of inches here. Now, also depending on how big your cookies are, it will depend on how much this batter will make for you. I mean, obviously. So, but I'll let you know in the end how many mine made. Okay, so I'm going to continue on preparing my baking sheets, and I'll let you know what they look like once they're out of the oven. So you want to put them in the oven, as I said, prepared at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and you want to keep an eye on them. You want to leave them in for about 10-12 minutes. As soon as you start to notice that the edge of your cookie is starting to become a little golden brown, you know that your cookies are ready to be removed. Once you've removed them from the oven, make sure you let them sit on your cookie sheet for about 5 minutes before removing them onto a cooling rack. So let's put them in the oven. Okay, so just remember that the longer you leave your cookies in, the crunchier they will get. So if you want your cookies to be more crispier and not chewier, then you can leave them in for another few minutes. So I'll leave that up to you, but I want to make mine chewy because that's how my family likes it. So I will show you guys as soon as they're ready. Alright, so my cookies were in the oven for exactly 10 minutes, and as you can see, they're perfectly golden brown around the edges, but on the inside it's nice and soft, which will make the cookie very chewy. So I'm going to continue on making the rest of my cookies, and then we'll try them as soon as they're all completely baked. Alright, so my cookies are all completely baked and we are now finished. So this size of cookie that I made, the batch gave me 19 cookies. So here you have it. If you make them smaller, you will have more cookies. So depending on what size you make them, that's the amount you will have in the end. So let's try one of our cookies. Just want to show you the middle here. How chewy, soft, and amazing it is. I can't even tell you how amazing these taste. They are so good with that little crunch of pecan throughout the cookies. And they're so simple to make, so delicious, with ingredients you already probably have at home. And that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. Stay tuned because I will be bringing you another 4 cookie recipes, different ones, over the next few days. So stay tuned for my cookie series, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really hope you guys tried this recipe. So don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, so you can see my future videos. And don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to share the video, share it with your friends, share it with your family. And that's about it. So I'll see you in my next cookie video. Take care. See you. Bye, everyone.